Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome back to another exciting edition of Innovation in a Changing World with your host, me, Mrs. Inman. All right, today is lesson 10. Of course, you need your mentor text, a pencil, and a highlighter. So grab those things and let's get started. All right, so today our goal actually is I can compare and contrast author's voice in two opinion texts. All right, if you turn to page 14 and 15, you are going to do your second read. And as you read, I want you to think about what reasons does this author give for not wanting wind farms. All right. Take 5 minutes, pause, take a little longer if you need to, and go ahead and do that second read. All right, welcome back. Let's review. Let's talk about author's voice. We've talked about this in the past. So an author's voice is the way authors use words, punctuation, and dialogue in a text. Okay. So however this author is using words, punctuation, or dialogue. Register. Now remember, we're not registering for basketball or for art class or anything like that. Register is the use of formal or informal language in different situations. So that's within the text. Okay? And then the dialect. Remember that? Remember, you guys sometimes remind me when I say y'all, Mrs. Inman, you're not from Texas. That's right. That's dialect. So it's the language used in a particular region or time. Could be like a different time period. Okay, so let's compare and contrast voice in opinion texts. Let's take a look here. I've got circled all of the I in this paragraph here. That language is personal. You're talking about, what you think, and it's personal. And then I underlined, and I'm tired of all these environmentalists thinking they're smarter than everyone else. Very informal, very relaxed voice. Okay, and then a bunch of hot air. Well, we know from last week that is a pun. She's using figurative language here. All right, let's look at this other text. It's got an exclamation point right away, so that's expressive language. Okay, and then she's talking about building and maintaining the wind farms would create jobs for our community. It's total literal language. It's not figurative, not like using a pun or an idiom or anything like that. And then I underlined a wind turbine farm would be a great benefit to West Hillbury. Well, that's very formal. Do you already notice the difference from informal? So I'm tired of all these environmentalists thinking they're smarter than everyone else. It's very casual, very informal voice compared to a wind turbine farm would be a great benefit in West Hillbury. It's a very formal voice. And then I underlined that very last part, and that's complex language. So government also predicts that the wind energy industry will grow by 108% in the next 10 years. Investing in wind energy will create jobs in West Hillbury for years to come. So it's very complex language. All right, here's your job. I want you to look at the different paragraphs, okay? And what I want you to do is find out who is the audience of each text. Who are these authors writing about? I guess not writing about, writing for. And then what voice do you think is more appropriate for this audience? Okay, so once you figure out who the audience is, figure out which voice. Is it the informal or the formal voice that's more appropriate for this audience? Go ahead and pause. Take a look at that. And then come on back and we'll go over it. All right. Welcome back. If you take a look at page 12, who is this audience? Who is the audience for this text? So you've got building and maintaining the wind farms would create jobs for our community. I have that underlined. You know who this is, right? It is, oh, and it actually lays it out for you. I'd forgotten I underlined that part. A wind turbine farm would be a great benefit to West Hillbury. So our audience is the West Hillbury community. If you didn't underline those things or get this, please write that in your margin. All right, now on page 14, we're going to talk about who's the audience for this text. And I underlined, I'm one of the older citizens Ms. Bain refers to. Okay, well, and I'm tired of all these environmentalists thinking they're smarter than everyone else. Well, we know that she's from West Hillbury, don't we? So our audience, again, is the West Hillbury community. So they're both writing for the same audience, but using different voice. Okay, so what voice? Oh, that's the other viewpoint. What voice do you think was more appropriate in this situation? We may have to discuss later. All right. Here is how you're going to evaluate. Yep, I've got it. 3, I can do this on my own. 2, I can do it with help. Or 1, I'm still confused. So I can compare and contrast author's voice in 2 opinion texts. And all you have to do is break it down, just like we did. All right, boys and girls, that's it. That's all I have for today. I will see you again tomorrow.